On this episode, we are back with our Fab 5 series, and today we are focused on Disney Springs. Today is May 10th, 2022, and this is episode 459 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys!
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And then if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you'll get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times extremely frustrating. Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And finally, if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, maybe you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are 100% free to you. All right, so before we continue our Fab 5 series at Disney Springs, I have another surprise for you. We tasked Emily, if you remember last episode, who did the math on our combinations for Satali Canteen and how many different you could get.
Yes.
She has now done it for the freestyle Coke machines. Yes,
she did?
And this will blow your mind. So, she said, according to Coca-Cola's website, there's 165 drinks and flavors in a Coke freestyle machine. So if you basically picked one soda and one flavor, or just like two flavors to mix in all, which she thinks is gross, there would be 13,530 different combinations.
Wow.
So they obviously need one of these at Satali Canteen to go along with your combination of bowls. So you could get through quite a bit of time drinking different combinations of soda, eating different bowls, things like that.
Okay.
So Emily, thank you again. We'll find, we got to come up with something else for her here soon for her to do some
She's
math
really good
on.
at this.
Yeah. I still don't understand how you do the numbers when you have different combinations. So I don't really want to understand. We have Emily, obviously, that we can go to at any time. So we certainly appreciate that. All right. So we're continuing our Fab 5 series today. If you go back and listen, we've done parks, we did resorts. This might be the last one because I don't know if we have anywhere to head from here. So if we
do, let us know.
Yeah, if you can think of another one you'd like us to do the Fab 5 series about, we'll go ahead and do it. But today we're going to focus on Disney Springs. What we're going to do is we're going to pick one of each, and we don't know each other's answers. We are going to pick a quick service restaurant.
Yes.
We're going to pick a table service restaurant. We're going to pick a place to get a good dessert, sweet treat.
Yep.
We're going to pick a store. And then finally, we're going to pick an entertainment. If you feel the need to maybe go outside of entertainment and just have a wild card, go for it. I know there aren't a ton of entertainment options, but we'll kind of see where we land. So let's kick it right off. I don't know that we're going to double up. I'll be interested to see if we actually double up on anything. We both pick the same thing. What is your quick service? Because I think mine's going to surprise you.
So I actually did the Morimoto street food.
It's a really smart one.
So
that's a really, really good one.
Because it is so good and I love it. And then you can do that instead of literally eating at Morimoto, which, don't get me wrong, eating there and sitting down is fantastic. And honestly, it has a much larger variety than the street food. But the street food, I think that's everything I want out of Morimoto anyways.
Right. I know. You're right, because you're going to get the ribs. They've got the ramen bowls. They've got some egg roll. I mean, they have a couple. They have some of their best items are there. And you're right. Even if you're going to go in and sit down, you're going to order the ribs. You know what I mean? So why not get them outside? Why not have to, go through the whole ordeal of getting a reservation?
The only thing you can't get is the white lily.
They should put that outside. But you can get some alcoholic beverages out there. It's a wonderful spot to sit, especially on a cooler Florida evening. I like your pick a lot because you took what could easily be the table service selection. And so you're getting a little bit more out of your pick. I'm going with where we actually dined most recently in Yasaki.
Okay.
This is not your traditional quick service in the sense that it's not a restaurant. There's seating and all there, but that seating is basically a common area for several of those little, I guess you could almost call them kiosks.
Yeah.
But, as we just reviewed and talked last episode, I mean, this was such a good, filling, refreshing meal. That tuna poke bowl was outstanding. Was really the chicken was super light and delicious. I would go back there again and again.
Yep.
I love the opportunity to sit outside. Now, to be honest, I don't know. We're hitting 90s now here. It looks like summer is beating upon us. I don't know that I want to go sit there in July, August, September when it's 95, 100 degrees outside.
Right.
Because I just don't want to be outside. But if you're going to have to sit outside and eat something, that tuna poke bowl would be absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they should call them. Tuke. A tuke bowl would be a tuna poke bowl.
Okay.
So, I mean,
there's so many good places.
There really are.
For quick service.
Yeah. It is so hard to beat Earl's sandwich. Always delicious. We love Blaze Pizza, but we just don't tend to eat it there because we can get it technically at home.
Right.
Deluxe Burger, it's been a while, but we've always loved it there. There really are a lot of wonderful quick spots to dine over at Disney Springs.
Yes.
But now we need a sit-down meal, right? This is the only one that I think we might double up on potentially. What are you picking for your sit-down table service meal and why?
Well, I feel like I'm unfortunately going to pick the Boathouse. And the reason I say that, unfortunately, is because when I go to think about Disney Springs and if I want to sit down dinner and I was looking through them and I'm like, man, I feel like I just can't beat the Boathouse. And I'm talking food. I'm talking atmosphere. You could sit outside if it's a cooler Florida evening and I say evening, when the sun's gone down and you're having a nice date night, you could eat out there because usually it's not god awful to sit at night.
Right.
And then, or you can sit inside and it's a lot of fun. Just don't get the brunch shrimp and grits. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, this was my pick as well. Is Boathouse.
Okay.
And, everything that you just said. What I love about the Boathouse, and of course, Disney does this with a lot of their restaurants, is there is a level of elegance, but you can show up in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I like that about the Boathouse. The Boathouse is a place where you can go middle of the day, shorts and a t-shirt, and sit outside on the deck and have a wonderful lunch. Or you could go at night and decide to get a little dressed up and maybe sit inside and get a really good, signature style meal. Everything we've ever had there has been good. The shrimp and grits were good. It's just
shrimp.
they had the tiny little shrimp, which was shocking. I think those shrimp would have been acceptable at a place that isn't known to be a seafood place.
Correct.
But the flavors and all were outstanding. Steaks there have been good. Lobster roll, I get the off-menu lobster roll, which is the warm buttered as opposed to the cold, mayo one that's on the menu. Absolutely outstanding. Their fries are delicious. The appetizers, we've sat out and just done appetizers outside.
We've had oysters Rockefeller.
Oh, so good. Everything here has been outstanding. The running joke with Lou Mangello and WDW Radio is that, basically if you go to Boathouse, Lou's going to be there.
Yeah.
And I think half the times we've been there, he has been there when we were there. Yeah. Again, a place that you can get brunch.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the big ones is where is the best brunch spot? This isn't on our Fab 5 list, but let's see if we think the same thing. What would you say is the most underrated restaurant at Disney Springs? And again, brunch comes to mind.
Oh, House of Blues. Yeah.
That almost could have made this list. Maybe that's our little bonus pick in a sense, but House of Blues is extremely underrated.
Yeah.
Highly recommend for a lunch, a dinner, a brunch, anything like that.
Yep.
This one's going to be interesting. We're moving on to dessert spot, sweet spot, right? You lunch, you had your quick service.
Yep.
Right at Yasaki or maybe Morimoto. For dinner, you just finished up at Boathouse. You decide not to get their baked Alaska there, which is super huge and super expensive. Where are you going to head to kind of, I guess, fill your sweet tooth?
So I am going to go ahead and go to Gideon's.
Okay, I thought you would.
Yeah,
I thought you would. I'm going to make a different pick. Why Gideon's?
So I was thinking about it, and I was looking at, Amaret's and other Ghirardelli and just other things where you can pick other things as opposed to Gideon's. You literally either get cake or cookies.
Yeah.
I thought about it and I was like, yeah, but like, if you're like, all right, Rhonda, you can have a sweet. What do you want? I do. I love the cookies. I now want to go every time in the morning to get that morning coffee one. I want to get the peanut butter one. I now want the pistachio. I love seeing what they have for this month's. Unfortunately, the last month had coconut and stuff that I don't like, so I had no desire to get that one. But yeah, and then the cakes. There's cakes, and you can freeze the cookies and eat them at a later date. Now the cakes you cannot. So if you're there and you're like, oh, I'm going to get this piece of cake, you know, you have to eat that, and then you could freeze the cookies for sure. So
yeah, you know, this is one of those instances, and you've done this in the past where you were pretty sure you knew my pick, so you specifically picked something different, and that's what I did here. I think Gideon's is hands down an outstanding choice.
You knew I was going to pick it.
Yeah, but so I went a different route, and I actually went with salt and straw.
Okay.
I always say I'm not a sweets person until I'm given sweets, and then I do love them, but I don't feel like I actively seek them out. It's normally not me that says, let's go to Amarette's. Let's go to Gideon's. Let's go to Salt and Straw. It's usually you.
Right.
And then when I'm there, I'm like, I love this, but I don't pick it.
Correct.
Salt and Straw, I think Gideon's is outstanding. I think their cookies are absolutely amazing. It 100% lives up to the hype. I think they do really great with their flavors, but I don't feel like they're breaking down barriers. Like a peanut butter cookie, okay, I get it. Like that's an easy one in a sense. Salt and Straw is breaking down barriers as far as what you think ice cream flavors should be.
Yeah,
I mean, what was that one
true.
I got? The honey balsamic, like black pepper,
something like that. Yeah,
and
there
the
was
way
an
that
olive oil one.
Yeah, like they're truly getting inventive with their flavors. And again, it's one of those where I'm kind of like, it's ice cream. Ice cream is good. You can pretty much go anywhere and get ice cream, and it's going to be delicious. What is the big deal? And then I had their ice cream, and I'm like, that's the big deal. This is something different. This is something special. Lots of cool and interesting flavors. I think the experience is wonderful. You have this little walk-through ice cream shop. They're giving you as many samples as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Not only are they giving you samples, they're giving to them on real tiny spoons.
Tiny
they're not even the
spoons.
plastic ones that you expect at most places. And then in front of you is a small little tube hole that you put the spoons in when you're done. Like, I think that little touch, I didn't know that ice cream could be elegant. But when you have things, when you have balsamic and black pepper in an ice cream flavor, or olive oil infused, or that key lime pie
that was
with
good.
the crushed like graham crackers and stuff in it was delicious. I just think that they're really changing the way that I ever had experienced ice cream.
Yeah. And if y'all are thinking, oh my gosh, I would never eat any of those, they do have things like very fresh and plain, in my opinion, which is the mint chocolate chip, which I got that just as it was in the morning and we were going to come back later. And it was just so clean and refreshing and so good. Yeah.
Even that, you can go in any ice cream shop in the world, I would assume, and get a mint chocolate chip. But even that one was just elevated. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where you go, this is a really good mint chocolate chip. And it's super creamy. And any place, one of the best smells to me in the world is walking down St. George Street in St. Augustine, downtown here near us, and going past Kilwin's and smelling the fresh waffle cones being made.
They are getting that here too. Yep, they are also doing that.
I mean, you're watching them make it. And honestly, that's probably one of the best smells to me in the world is a fresh waffle cone.
Absolutely.
So Salt and Straw, if you have not been there yet, we want to make our way to Disney Springs when we head down next weekend. I want to check out the new Galaxy's Edge VR thing that they've popped up in the old NBA experience.
Oh, okay.
Talk about full circle, right?
Yeah.
We had Disney Quest. They're like, nah, this isn't working. Nobody wants virtual gaming stuff in this building. Let's rip it down and build NBA experience. That didn't go too well. So they're like, let's bring back and put basically something virtual in here. But it is a free experience. You get to actually, I think, walk around Galaxy's Edge in a virtual headset. And I don't know if there's gameplay or all, but we'll certainly try and check it out next weekend. And we will probably eat some Gideon's and get Salt and Straw.
Absolutely.
I'll say, hopefully we'll see if Kat and Michael want to try Salt and Straw because we'll be there with them. So we'll give it a shot.
Yes.
Next, we're moving on to store, which I find an interesting one, because if we've talked about stores in the past here, there's a clear-cut winner, but it all depends on what you're looking for specifically.
Correct.
So are you going with the clear-cut winner, or are you going a more specific route?
I'm going to go ahead in the more specific route, and I'm going to go to the marketplace.
Oh, okay.
And I'm
the
gonna,
co-op?
Yeah, and I'm going to say all of those marketplaces. Where,
all the way down to trendy. Yes. Well, they're technically separate, even though they're together.
I know.
But you're taking that whole building.
I'm taking that whole building because there's also a lot of cool stuff. And it kind of comes and goes where, I mean, first you still have all the dresses back there that are roughly, I believe, give or take $128.
Yeah.
And then, which they're so awesome. And then you have a bunch of Dooney and Burke stuff too. There's a lot of stuff too.
D-Tech?
Yes.
The Vault shop is there right now.
I just started to say, there's a lot of stuff
Animals
too that are, what is it called? Where it's limited quantity or new stuff that you can find that, it comes to Disney Springs and you're like, oh, let me go. And that's where it's at.
Yeah.
The dogs, I love that. I love the D-Tech. They have where you can make candles, I think, in the center and
I would like to do that one time.
That would be fun.
Can we do you think you have to do it individually? Could we make it together? And then I imagine it's like in Ghost. Okay. Like you're in front and I'm behind you and we both have our hands together molding a candle and adding scents and stuff to it. You don't want to do that with me?
I don't think you do that. Okay. You don't
Excuse me, sir, you're going to have to leave.
I liked how...
Is that Time of My Life that plays when they're doing that? Oh no, what song? What am I thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking
Dirty Dancing.
I'm thinking of Dirty Dancing. Gosh, what's the song in Ghost? I don't think I've ever seen Ghost from beginning to end.
Oh my goodness.
It's Demi Moore, right? And Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
She was the one that was in it? And he's dead? Spoiler alert. What is it?
Yeah.
He dies, right?
Yeah.
Is he dead when they're doing the pottery? Or he was alive at that point?
I think so.
And then she sees him?
Takes over, I think. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. And I hope somebody out there is keeping a tally of things that I've never seen that everybody else in the world has seen. As we discovered last weekend when Dirty Dancing came on, I've never seen Dirty Dancing from beginning to end. Yeah. And so I had about 95% of people were like, "You're out of your effing mind," and then there was one person that was like, "I'm with you. I don't really get it. I'll put baby in a corner."
Don't put baby
okay, anyway, so what we were talking about, the co-op and marketplace, trendy, everything that's in there.
I liked how, months and months ago, I believe when Disney Springs opened back up, they had cruise line stuff there.
That's right, yeah.
And now I think it's gone.
Yes.
And I bought a dress because I'm so excited.
I got a shirt
to go.
Neither one of us have worn them.
Nope.
Because we're waiting for the actual cruise.
Yep.
We need to let's get some more cruise line stuff though.
Okay.
We're gonna be DCL people now, I think.
Yep.
I think that's a wonderful pick. Again, you got a World of Disney to me is a clear-cut winner. But as we've always said in the past, and it's not my pick. I'll get to my pick in a minute. You can probably guess it. I think, again, World of Disney is the place where you're on vacation at Disney and you got a bunch of people back home that you're like, I need to buy souvenirs for. Where can I get everything?
Yeah.
And that is World of Disney. Again, take the Emporium at Magic Kingdom, take Creations at Epcot, and turn it just blow them times 10. And that's World of Disney. Every possible thing you could want, everything you could need, but it's a touristy Disney shop.
Yes.
I love Disney style. Disney style is my pick.
Okay.
It is the place that I walk in and pretend that I'm 25 years old because the stuff in there, for the most part, I don't feel is designed for 42-year-olds, but I'm going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
I've gotten one of my favorite shirts ever there. Yep. It's the teal and white and purple old school Mickey one that I saw Tyler Joseph wear. There's a bunch of pictures from the singer from 21 Pilots, and I'm like, that is the greatest old school retro looking Disney shirt I've ever seen. I wish I could get one. Could never find one. I looked online, couldn't find it. We walk into Disney Style one day, and it's there.
Yep.
And I'm like, this to me is not a shirt that a 42-year-old man wears, but I don't care. I'm getting it and I'm wearing it. I just think they have such a cool collection of unique items in there that, I feel like 80% of the items in there, you aren't finding at any other Disney store.
Yeah.
And that's much like the co-op.
And again, same thing. They bring stuff in when Corella first opened and there was a whole bunch of Corella clothes and they were pretty cool.
Yeah. Very.
Expensive, but still cool. It is neat.
But it's like the place you can walk in and you can get a retro looking jean jacket with old school Disney patches sewn to it.
Yep.
So I just absolutely love it. If I was a 25-year-old like influencer or something, like I would buy all of my clothes from there.
Yeah.
I think, and I would look fine in it. But I absolutely love that place. So that was our fourth pick.
Yep.
We're moving on to number 5, which we're going to go with entertainment.
Yep.
Are you sticking with entertainment, or do you have any sort of wild cards you want to throw out?
No, it's entertainment.
Okay. What are you going with?
I forgot about it until I was looking it up. I am going to go ahead and do the AMC Dine-In Theater.
That's a really good one. That did not cross my mind. You were actually scrolling through Disney Springs' website. I just went straight off the top of my head, which is where I fail because I didn't think of something like that. Why'd you pick that?
Well, for one, because the entertainment, like depending on a movie that's out, like you could have some banging entertainment. That'd be awesome.
Did you say banging entertainment?
Yeah, I did. I don't know why.
Depending on what movie's out. So the movie's got to be banging, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Do you think you're 25 years old?
I think you just.
I think I just rubbed off on you with the 25-year-oldness. Okay.
But I love like the dine-in. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
I think to maybe try that again and maybe.
Yeah, we've only done it once. We did Return of the Jedi. No, Return of the Jedi. No, The Last Jedi. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is what we saw there, right? Yeah.
I think so.
We've been on the regular side. We saw Beauty and the Beast live action on the regular side, and you and I actually saw Pitch Perfect 3, wasn't it? We went down to renew our passes for a day, ate at Deluxe Burger.
Yep.
There's been whenever Pitch Perfect 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Pitch Perfect as a trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies of all time, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I have seen all 3 of those movies. I love them very much. So, talk more about your banging pick.
Well, I mean, it's just, again, you could watch a movie and enjoy and eat a actual like dinner too.
It was good.
Yeah.
The food was good.
Yeah.
Then we did sushi.
We did. And
a
I
burger
think,
or something, right?
I knew we did sushi. We didn't I think we did little appetizers because,
yeah,
again, we have to sit through a movie and I think we kind of get nervous that we might have to go to the bathroom or whatever. But that's where, like, I think, next time we don't see maybe a movie that's coming out or see a movie that's just, you don't need to see it like on the day it opens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And maybe we look for one that's like an animated movie that has a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm with you. I don't want to sit and watch Endgame for 3 hours,
right,
and eat like regular food the whole time.
Yeah.
I think our entire family has a mental style thing where our bodies know that it's not an opportune time to go to the bathroom, which then sets off, even if we don't eat, like we don't tend to eat breakfast as is, but like but even coffee, we have coffee every morning. When we're getting up and driving to Disney, a lot of times I won't have coffee that morning because I'm like, I'm going to be in a car for 2 hours. I don't want to have to stop. And because my brain will take over. The actual coffee does nothing physically to my body. It's my brain that is like, you're putting coffee in you? We're going to have to stop. And then I get nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
For my entertainment, and you brought this up when we were walking the dogs this morning as we were kind of discussing this, is House of Blues.
Yep.
I've been to a lot of cool venues. I have seen countless number of bands over the past 20, going on almost 30 years. Went to my first concert when I was 15. That venue, first of all, is so unique.
Yeah.
And it is so, what is the word I'm thinking of? Intimate.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
When you go back and look at, we've talked about where our journey and where I really believe this podcast started was us going to see 21 Pilots at House of Blues.
Yep.
And staying at Port Orleans. It was our first moderate. And walking out of there and just, taking the boat back from Disney Springs to this moderate resort on property is when we truly just, I think, fell in love with Disney. We decided to become pass holders. A couple years later, we'd start a podcast about it. Like, that was kind of the start. We most recently went and saw Blue October there. I mean, again, talk about just an incredible venue for that.
Yeah.
But even outside of the paid concert tickets, that outside area, it's got one of the best bars as far as pricing goes. If you're just looking to get a beer, wine, something like that, they've got a wonderful happy hour. You can get a drink from either the walk-up bar that's right there across from CityWorks or the bar that's in, kind of in the outdoor seating area. There's going to be live music in the evenings. Like, it is such a cool area. And House of Blues, I mean, I've got a long love of House of Blues from going to one in South Carolina way back when, in Myrtle Beach area, down to the fact that it is their spokespeople for the most part are Jake and Elwood Blues. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. My dad, who was a principal in Maryland growing up, did everything he could to embarrass me at any point by doing things like finding his friend, and they would dress up and perform as Jake and Elwood Blues. When we would do in elementary school, we had sock hops. And everybody got dressed up like it was the 50s, and my dad and his friend would actually perform at my school, which when you're like a 5th, 6th grader isn't the coolest thing to you, but everybody else thinks it's awesome.
Yeah.
So long-standing love of the Blues Brothers. I love that statue you can see of them when you walk into the shop there at House of Blues. And again, it's just a unique atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I know, restaurant aside even, they have live music in there.
Right.
So you could literally sit at brunch on a Sunday morning, get their shrimp and grits, which is
So
absolutely
good.
unbelievable. Listen to live music. All of that. And in the pricing, we paid, I think, $25 to see Blue October there, I believe.
Did we?
I think so.
Okay.
And I was just looking, Blue October is coming to Daly's Place up in Jacksonville this summer, but their Goo Goo Dolls is the headliner and tickets are like $90. I'm like, I'm not paying $90 to see Blue October when I can pay $25 to see them as the headliner at House of Blues, or I can go see them at Epcot for the Garden Rocks Festival. So, Cirque du Soleil almost got my pick.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really, really good one.
It is.
But if you're coming to Disney and you've got a decent trip and there's one night where you're like, you know what, we're going to go to Disney Springs and hang out, look up and see what band is there. They don't even have to be your favorite. You might want to get tickets. You can probably get them $15, $25 depending on the band. They have some really good ones come through. They'll have a lot of cover bands. Like I know they have a Sublime band that comes through all the time, things like that. They have a 80s band that comes through a lot. Sometimes there are local artists, so definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
If anyone has an idea for another Fab 5 series, we've covered parks, we've covered all the resorts, we've now covered Disney Springs. Let us know. Maybe we look at finding a good guest and doing a Disneyland version or something where they can give us their picks. That might be cool. And maybe we can do a Disney Cruise Line one here coming up after we go on the Wish in September. Thank you, Rhonda. Happy Mother's Day. We are recording on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you. And as long as you are out on the internet listening to this, we would love if you subscribe. You get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. You can check out wonderlandcrew.com to learn more about our Patreon group and join. It's only $7 a month. And as long as you're out there, would you please leave us a rating and review?
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.